From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Elections BC is expected to provide an update today on the final count following this past weekend's election. That includes the number of unaccounted mail-in and absentee ballots in each of British Columbia's 93 ridings. There are about 65,000 ballots to count between tomorrow and Monday, which could solidify results or even flip some ridings. A handful of ridings remain too close to call after Saturday's vote, in which neither the NDP nor the BC Conservatives secured the 47 seats needed for a majority. The Saskatchewan provincial election is just around the corner, and voters who want to cast an early ballot have until the end of Saturday to do so. Polls are going to be closed on Sunday, and the election is Monday. The Saskatchewan Party and NDP have spent much of the election campaign attacking each other's records while pitching themselves as the best choice on key issues like healthcare, education, and the economy. Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe is set to speak to supporters today in Regina. When it comes to next month's U.S. presidential election, Canadian Conservative voters appear to be split on who they would cast their hypothetical ballot for. According to a new Leger poll, 45% of Canadian respondents say they would support former President Donald Trump. 42% say they would be supporting Kamala Harris. However, Canadians responding to the polls believe that Harris would perform better than Trump on almost all issues, particularly climate change, trade relations with Canada, immigration, and the American economy. Ottawa is set to allow Canada Post to store and transport restricted firearms through new regulations, which brings the long-promised retail gun buyback program another step closer to beginning. The October 16th order allows for restricted assault-style firearms to be removed from safes, transported, and ultimately destroyed. More than 1,500 models of firearms were restricted in May 2020 after a mass shooting in Nova Scotia left 23 people dead, including the gunman. Overseas now, where Lebanon's state-run national news agency says an Israeli airstrike hit a compound housing journalists in the southeast corner of the country, killing 3 staffers from 2 different news agencies.
Local news station Al Jadid aired footage from the scene showing collapsed buildings and cars marked press covered in dust and rubble. The Israeli army did not issue a warning prior to the strike, which hit a collection of chalets that had been rented by various media outlets. The Beirut-based Pan-Arab Al Mayadeen TV said 2 of its staffers were among the journalists killed early Friday. Al-Mana TV of Lebanon's Hezbollah group said its camera operator was also killed. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, 2 big-market, big-spending teams are set to meet in the World Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers will entertain the New York Yankees in the opener of the best-of-7 series starting tonight. The Dodgers beat the New York Mets to win the National League pennant. The Yankees, they topped Cleveland to win the American League crown. Over to the ice now, where the Winnipeg Jets remain perfect on the young NHL season. They beat the Seattle Kraken 4-3 in overtime, stretching their season-opening win streak now to 7 games. Nick Ehlers scored the winner. Meanwhile, Calgary dropped a 4-2 decision to Carolina for its first regulation loss, and the St. Louis Blues dumped the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. And the Raptors will likely catch a bit of a break tonight, as Philadelphia's Joel Embiid is not expected to be in the lineup when the 2 teams meet in Toronto. The Sixers are using a load management approach for his bothersome knees this season. The goal is to make sure Embiid is healthy and available when needed, particularly in the playoffs. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.